Today we're going to start theming our to-do app. So we're going to have a to-do page and an archive page. And we're going to be using a component system called Chakra Ui. There's lots of React component libraries out there. You can just Google it. I've used about half of them, and they're all fantastic. React Bootstrap is great if you want to use Bootstrap stuff. Material UI is what Google made. There's a bunch of them out there. I like Chakra because it's very easy to customize. So go to chakraui.com, chakra-ui.com. Link to that's in the description, and go to the Getting Started page. We're going to copy the npm install script, and we're going to paste it in our terminal, in our REPL, and we'll let that run for a little bit. I lied, I forgot we use yarn with, what's it called, REPL. So, you can go ahead and type clear in this terminal here, and we'll type yarn add, and then we'll paste with Control-Shift-V the thing that we copied, and hopefully we can delete npm install. So now I have yarn add and then all that stuff from the get started page. So you're replacing npm install with yarn add, and then you just run that sucker and wait for a little bit. Okay, that's better. So let's go ahead and hit npm start in our terminal so that we can see our page. You could also hit run, that works too. First thing we're going to do here is we're going to finish the Chakra getting started by starting to add a theme to our site. So Chakra has a whole bunch of pre-built components that will help us, have things like buttons and drawers and flexbox and menus, etc. And we can customize these further by picking out fonts and colors, etc. So first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and copy this example right here, and we're going to paste that in our app.js up here at the top. So this is going to allow us to start customizing our theme of Chakra UI, and then we'll also need to make sure that our app.js has this theme provider. So let's go ahead and copy that, and we'll paste it in our app. This theme provider needs to go inside our app function. You can put it inside or outside the browser router, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it right here. And then the closing tag is going to go after the route. So we'll have something like that. And then the last thing we need from this getting started is the CSS Reset. So we have the CSS Reset. This allows Chakra to do its thing. And then we'll have to make sure that we delete this extra import and fix our import up here. So we have theme provider that we've imported from Chakra UI. We also have CSS Reset. Okay, and let's see how that does. Sweet. So it's loaded the default styling. You can add your own colors and fonts. I'll show you how to do fonts right now. So let's go ahead and scroll up on the Getting Started page to where we find the fonts object right here. I'm going to copy that and paste it in our custom theme object. So here are the fonts that are preloaded. Let's go to Google Fonts and get some different ones. Fonts.google.com. I'm going to add just a couple fonts right off the front page here. Hit select this style. I'm going to get 3 different fonts. Be sure you get at least a monospace font and then a font for the body. You can also have one for headings if you'd like. So this is going to be my headings font, and then this will be my body font. Good old Roboto. And then I'll have something else for monospace. Just search mono at the top. Sure, we'll do space mono. Cool. Now for the embed, we're going to use the link because we only have one HTML page, so we only need to copy the link tag and put it in our index.html. So let's go to our public folder, index.html, and paste that link tag anywhere in there. I like to put it next to the other link. And then, of course, we need to copy some of this stuff. So we have David Libre for our serif font, for our heading font. Let's go back to app.js and paste that in there for heading. Be sure your string has matching quotation marks. You have to alternate between, single and double quotes as you nest them inside one another. Then let's do Roboto for our body font. And finally, space mono for our monospace font for when we want to show code and such. Alright, it's restarting real quick. I made a quick mistake. Our fonts object ended up inside the colors object. We need to cut that, Control X, and paste it, Control V. And then you can do Shift Tab to make the indentation all nice. That'll bring it. So there's our Roboto font. Alright, let's see. Colors. Under Chakra UI, you can go to color mode. It talks about dark mode and how you can change it if you'd like. You can also go to theme and see which colors you can change. Here's all the default colors and their different shades. And then, of course, you can also customize your own brand color with different shades from 50 all the way to 900. I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now, and we'll just use it. Okay, next we got to make our first layout and adjust our navigation so that we can get to the right pages. So in components, we're going to make a new component and call it layout.js. This layout is going to wrap around each of our different pages so that they all have the same main layout going on with them. So we're going to import React from React, const layout, and then we're going to set it equal to an arrow function with a parameter of props, and then we'll just have that parentheses so that it can return implicitly, and then export default layout. Okay, so in our layout, we're going to have a couple things. We're going to have our nav component, first of all. So let's go ahead and make a fragment, and then type in our nav component. We have to import it from folder. And then we're going to use one of Chakra's components called Flex. Flex allows us to do some Flexbox type styling with JavaScript. So let's copy that. We don't have to write any extra CSS. We can just use the provided classes, which is super nice. So we're going to do a Flex component like this. And inside of that is going to be props.children. So whatever we put inside of the layout, it's going to be passed into the function as the children as part of the props object. So props.children is going to allow us to render anything inside the layout. You'll see what I mean later. So we're going to add a couple parameters to this flex component. We're going to render it as a main tag, and we're also going to have the direction be column, and we're also going to have the align items, which is abbreviated to align, be center. And you can see, all of these different parameters when you read the docs, and you can see different options and stuff. So let's go at the next thing. Looks like we need to adjust our nav to go to some different pages, and we also need to get rid of our nav on our other pages. So let's first go to homepages.js and delete where it says nav, because now these pages are just going to have their own content. The first one we're going to call to do. And then the second one we're going to call archive. And instead of h1 tags, we're actually going to be using the built-in heading component from Chakra. So import heading from at Chakra Ui /core. So let's go to heading real quick. You can read up about it. Different headings have different sizes. We're going to use size XL and render it as an h1 tag. Oops. And then same thing down there, and then we'll export to do and archive. And then in app.js, instead of importing page 1 and page 2, we're going to import to do and archive. And then we'll go ahead and change our routes down here so that we have to do as the home screen, and then archive as the page when you go to archive in your URL path. Okay, you can see our thing popped up there. So we need to add our layout to our app so that we can see our navigation again. So let's import layout from components /layout, and then we're going to wrap it around pretty much anywhere. We can wrap it around just our routes like this. That'll work just fine. And we'll just wait for it to compile here. So these are the children that are getting passed into layout.
Does she have you as a student?
Okay, finally rendered. It only took it 12 years. Okay, so now we need to make sure our nav is pointing to the right things. So first page is going to be to do. Second page is going to be archive. And that's going to go to the archive page. So as we click on them, they should take us to do and the archive components. Oh, the archive component still says to do. That's why. Archive. There we go. End of the day. Brain is done. Have to make the video. It's so much fun. Alright, to do, archive, going back and forth. We're doing okay. Alright, let's make our navigation a little prettier so it looks something more like this. Okay, so to make it a little fancier, we can add a few of the options. I'm just going to copy and paste them here. So you have flex. Let's see, going back to nav.js. We're going to copy this whole thing. Flex header. We're going to render it as a header. Probably don't need an ID header. This just says what kind of tag we're going to render it as. And then we're going to put some space between things and make the background blue and the text color white. And we have to make sure we import that flex component from Chakra Ui /core. And then gotta have a closing tag for flex. And over here we can have a heading tag that renders as a span. This is just how I did it on the other site that I showed you previously. And I think it looks pretty okay. And then we'll have a link to the home page again. Let's make this a little prettier. And then it's going to say my to-do app. Oh, it's super large. Let's make my to-do app smaller. So we'll do size equals small. And you can read the docs in Chakra about the heading and all that stuff. Cool. And then in CSS, let's adjust this a little bit so that it'll look better. So these are going to be tags in the header are going to have a little bit of padding. And then we'll have header span needs to have a line height of normal. Now my to-do app should go down to a normal place. Oh, we gotta make this important. I forgot to override what's going on. Okay, line height 1. Okay, let me do a little bit of debugging here. Right click, inspect. Okay, the A tag looks fine. Oh, it's extra padding on the A tag. That's messing with us. All right. So in our CSS, we're going to say 0, 10 pixels. So the padding's just in the X direction. And I restarted the thing, so it'll take a second. It's line height unset to get it to look nice there. Okay, last thing we're going to do is in our, let's see, where did we take care of that? Sure, we could do it in our layout. Our layout, no, we'll do it in app.js. I lied, we're going to do it in layout. Last thing I promise. I'm going to tell the width to be 100%, just in case. And then we're also going to tell the padding to be 4, so that it will have a little space around to do and archive and stuff like that. And then as we refresh the page, we can see that that padding has taken effect. And now we can go back and forth between the to-do and archive page. To-do is where we're going to add like tasks to do for the day. And then you can either delete them or archive them. Archived ones get saved here, obviously. And that's what we'll be doing next time. So thanks for sticking around. I'll make the commit to this available in the description so that you can check the code and even copy some stuff over if you'd like. And have a wonderful day.